All right, GM everybody. Thank you all so much for joining me once again for another InvArch Weekly Community Call. Another great morning here in good old Sama space. I've got my no drink actually today because I'm in like a makeshift office. I have company downstairs, so no drink today. But for those of you who've got your coffee ready, I implore you, have a sip for me. Thank you very much. Anyways, with that being said, guys, everyone likes to know, like everyone knows how I like to start these things. We just like to start them off kind of nonchalant. I tell you guys how my week's gone, and then I give the floor to the community and let anybody who wants to kind of share with how their week's gone or what they might have done, anything that's excited. And it can be relating to Sama or just something in your personal life. It doesn't have to be relating to Sama or InVarch at all. So I guess just some immediate updates from me. We've had a lot of more interest in the ambassador program pickup, which was really refreshing to see. We've had a lot of more applications coming through from regions where we weren't originally seeing that much activity. So it's really awesome to finally get to see some of the results of our growth efforts finally start to pay off. People are getting interest. And I think a lot of it has to do with Udl DAO, but we have a lot to talk about, of course, with that as well. So you guys can expect a very fun weekly community call. Well, with that being said, I would like to call on one of my colleagues, either Mikhail or AJ. I would like for one of you guys to share with our community, like what you did this week, what was something you had fun doing, and then give the floor to the community. If anyone else wants to share with us, feel free to.
Dit waren 24 potjes, oftewel een half uur scherm. Yes. Ja. Dankjewel, Robin.
AJ or Mikhail, are you guys there?
Yeah.
Sorry. Sorry. Go ahead, Miguel.
Okay, I'm just because I'm already in a place where I have a lot of noise. I hope you don't hear it, but I'm here out on the street. So I was like very excited about Twitter reaching 10K in watch Twitter. Shout out to EJ and to our community. That's pretty awesome. Personally, I've been traveling half of the week doing some things, paperwork and everything like this, but still catching up with the team. And I'm excited for the community call to hear some news that I might miss.
Yes, yes, sir. All right, and by the way, Mikhail, we heard you perfectly. No background noise whatsoever. Um, what about you, AJ? What are you looking forward to?
Yeah, well, I guess just looking back on the week so far, lots of stuff going on the marketing end for InvArch. Lots of quite a few things in the works that I've been helping take lead on and also spearheading. Um, and yeah, I just can't wait to have that announced because it's just one awesome thing after another. Um, and I guess just a little update for the community immediately. Next week I am looking forward to a, a vacation. So I'll just be gone from Monday to Friday next week, just to let you all know. But taking a little break for myself. So I am looking forward to that. But I will admit, and some people can infer this when if you know me enough, but I know that I will miss working for a week, and I honestly love like productivity and just doing my best for the project. But at the same time, I think we all do a break every now and then. So
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. You need that separation sometimes from work and life, and it's refreshing because one makes you appreciate the other. Um, so yeah, no, AJ, I'm really looking forward to you getting a break as well, buddy. You deserve it. You work really hard every day. You help promote the project. I love seeing what you do for us, man. So it's well deserved, well earned. Um, but with that being said, thank you guys for sharing your week with our community. Does anybody from our community want to take the floor and talk to our community members? Maybe share with something with our guys how their week went. Maybe something they're looking forward to next week, whatever the case may be. Now is your time, or forever hold your peace, and we will move into the next segment. All right. Looks like nobody's wanting to take over the mic and share with how their week goes. Just a reiterator, guys, this is the community call. This is not just my community. This is everyone's community. So if anybody wants to communicate, take over the mic, share their thoughts, opinions, gripes, complaints, whatever the case might be, guys, just know you have that opportunity to unmute yourself and engage in the conversation 100%, and that's what we hope that you are willing to do. But with that being said, we'll go ahead and move on into the next segment. So we wanted to kind of go over some of the Tinker rewards and some things that happened this week. So obviously, as you all know, we did the Tinker distribution event. There was some initial problems that happened with those individuals who had specifically contributed multiple times through different tiers throughout the rewards and how they were supposed to be distributed. So if that was you, please check your rewards, make sure that everything looks exactly up to par. If it doesn't, if you see something that might look suspicious, please reach out to one of our team members. We would be more than happy to verify that everything looks right on our end for you. There was some confusion over the calculations as well, which partially was due to some, I think, of the verbiage, with just how it was worded. So for example, I'm going to pull it up right now to just kind of explain this for you guys. I don't have my wallet connected to the claim things. Let me connect this really quick so I can see exactly what you guys see. Okay. So if you guys go here, if you've contributed to the crowd loan and you are in the Tinker Network claim portal, I will drop a link for it right now while we're in the chat. Once again, this is only for those individuals who contributed during the crowd loan. So if you didn't contribute during the crowd loan, you won't get anything when you visit this, or it'll just say 0 across the board. However, if you go here, if you've claimed, it should say claimable 0. Transferable will be the initial 10% of the total of your Tinker tokens. And the remaining 90% should show in the vesting block, but you should also see your total there. Now, some people were very confused because they thought that transferable meant that they didn't have it in their wallet actively. Transferable on this little domain right here, the Tinkernet Claim Portal, transferable does mean that it is in your wallet actively. And I just wanted to highlight that because there was some confusion around that specifically. Some people were like, can you please change that wording? We just want to make sure everyone understands that's what it stands for. So if that was you, we apologize, but everything has been straightened out now. Also, the RPC that was down on the tech side of things, for those of you who weren't aware, or for those of you who might have been trying to claim your Tinker for the past day or so, the RPC was down and unavailable. So for those of you who have been waiting, please go forward and claim your Tinker now. It is back online. So with that being said, guys,
sorry, one remark, Casey.
Absolutely, go ahead.
30% is unlocked and 70 will be distributed among the year.
Okay, 30% is unlocked, and that remaining 70% will be unlocked over a 1-year duration. Now, also on the technical side of things, just to give you guys a little bit of a teaser, Gabe has been working on a Tinkernet Lite client. We don't have much more alpha to share with you guys with that, other than we know that Dustin's in the house. He's basically the Lite client messiah, for those of you who are not familiar. And I know that sharing that with Dustin would make him excited that Tinkernet is looking into Lite clients, working on them as we speak. Does anybody else have any questions regarding Tinkernet, claiming, anything else regarding Tinkernet? I want to also highlight for our ambassadors who may or may not be listening, or who may watch this recording later. This is the last day for you all to fill out the form where you can exchange 25% of your earned Varch for Tinker. Now, this is also, I want to highlight, this is separate because there's been confusion as well there. This is 100% separate from the Tinker airdrop meant for ambassadors present from at least round 10. If you were invited right now during round 11, I apologize, then this is not for you. But if you were joined during round 10 before the end of it, or you have been an ambassador at any time prior, this is for you. So if you have that veteran ambassador role, you should be able, automatically, you were qualified for the Tinker airdrop. So All you have to do for that, guys, is make sure you go into the proper channel that is only visible to you all on the community Discord server and give us your wallet. Now, please, if you know somebody who was an ambassador who may have left our community or hasn't been keeping up with us, but you know for a fact that they were part of our community, they were part of our ambassador program, let them know. They literally only have basically, yeah, they have like less than 12 hours. They have 10 hours to make sure that they get in here, give us their wallet and stuff. So, please, for those of you who have been an ambassador in the past or you are currently an ambassador since round 10 or prior, make sure you give us your wallet. And if you're interested, you can optionally opt into the exchange 25% of your earned Varch in total for Tinker instead. Now, the conversion rate is like, I believe it's like, it's 80 Mikhail, I know you did the conversion exactly. It's like 85.47. Is that correct for one Tinker? I believe that's the exact amount. I can look really quick and just verify. But for those of you who are ambassadors in the crowd who might be interested in taking up like that opportunity, please be aware that you have just until the end of today to sign up for that. Or if you don't want to, like, once again, you do not have to. It is 100% optional. We just wanted to give that opportunity to ambassadors because we've been wanting to give you guys rewards since November of last year. Obviously, we expected the InvArch TGE to go way faster. However, as things have unfolded, that has not been the case. We apologize for that, of course, but we wanted to make up for it by allowing you guys, if you want to get some of your earned rewards sooner, you can exchange them for Tinker. So I'm just finding the message here where I know I list the exact, it's like 85.7, 85.47. If you guys just go in the Veteran Ambassador Lounge, you guys can find the message. There's not that many messages in here. Oh, okay, here it is. I found it exactly. Yeah, I was right. 85.47 Varch is the equivalent for one Tinker, and that's based on a 1-to-1 ratio for the exchange, for those of you who are familiar with the exchange and have that opportunity. With that being said, guys, if nobody else has any more questions regarding Tinker, I'll give you guys just a minute to ask if you do. If you don't, we'll move on into the next segment.
So, you were dividing InvArch supply against Tinker? Is that what you were doing? I missed
Yeah,
that.
so basically, what we decided to do was for those of our InvArch ambassadors who were interested in getting some of the rewards sooner, because we've been trying to like make sure that we want to get those out to them as soon as possible. They've been waiting for over a year, almost at this point. And so, because the Varch TGE was pushed back slightly again, we wanted to make sure that if they want some of those earned rewards thus far, that they can do that. They can exchange it for 25% of the Varch for Tinker. And yes, the ratio is based against the like total supplies for both. So as you know, like Varch has 1 billion, and then Tinker's only 11,700,000. So much smaller supply. So that's the conversion rate. It's, yeah, one Tinker is 85.47 Varch.
That's cool. It gives everybody the ability to obtain their rewards faster. So yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, we wanted to make sure that our ambassadors like understood that it's not that we don't want to reward them. We didn't want them feeling like, oh, you know, like they're just like dragging us on, not giving us any rewards and things. Because like we've given some NFTs and things out like that to our community and our ambassadors, like special ambassador NFTs and things in the past. We dished out some rewards here and there, but obviously they want some tokens as rewards as well because that's what they're working for. And because Varch token, like we're gonna do that right when the time is right. That's the plan. So for those individuals who are just patiently waiting to get their Varch, and they want some rewards sooner, we wanted to give them this opportunity. And that one is 100% optional. But if you don't want to do that, let's say, for example, really quickly, that you're an ambassador and you want 100% of your Varch, you don't want to exchange it for Tinker, that's totally fine. However, please, the Tinker airdrop is still an option for you. That's just some free Tinker if you've been a veteran ambassador or currently an ambassador from round 10 back. then that is an option for you guys as well. So please, if you've been a part of that crowd, don't miss out on that free opportunity to get some Tinker. Absolutely no reason not to. But okay, with that being said, I
Yeah.
think. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that we want to give this opportunity for people to use the tech already, because it's running. And as you know, I'm before Git, everything's like almost ready to go. And we have like opportunity for our investors to have the tokens and to really participate in the network's development. And we want to test everything out. So this is why we're doing the airdrop, and as well, this is why we can exchange 25% of the wires to Tinker.
Yes. Like he said, we just wanted to give that opportunity to our ambassadors, past and present, at least from round 10 back. Because round 11, like, literally just joined. Just started. But yes, thank you, Mikhail, for pointing that out as well. We do want our ambassadors to have that opportunity to have kind of early access, if you will, to some of the features of the network, because it's all live now. You just have to have Tinker to be able to use it. So if you weren't able, for example, like let's say you were an ambassador and you just were not able to contribute to the crowd loan. I know a lot of our guys might not have had that opportunity. If that might have been you, well, this is your opportunity to get some Tinker for your efforts. So thank you guys so much as well for answering. I know the Tinker things can be a little confusing. We get a lot of questions about it, so it's good to always go over it. Regarding the next segment, though, some pretty cool stuff to go over. So Udl DAO, for those of you who don't know, we recently released the roadmap for Udl DAO. That is available on the Udl DAO Twitter. If you guys visit that, you can find it. I want to highlight as well that there were some very prominent figures this week who've supported the project, such as Alice and Bob, StakeNode Dev, Limo. There were some additional others. I also seen a tweet from, I believe it was the Mangata business development team, and they were basically tweeting out a conversation between them all, and it was basically like, I bought a Udl for 1 KSM, and it was like, I did too, and I did too, and it was like all of us just looking around at each other like similar investment. For those of you who don't know, though, Udl DAO is doing very successful. I highly encourage all of you, if you have at least 1 KSM, to get one of the tickets. It's going to be a fun ride. It's going to be unlike anything you've ever seen before. Once again, I highly recommend you check out the roadmap, because the roadmap is pretty sweet. Everything is transparent and straightforward, which is always something that the Web3 decentralization community can appreciate, is transparency across the board. I wanted to share as well some stats with you guys, just to highlight the significance of how well it's doing. So just in the last month, for example, let me refresh this in case any sales have gone through while we've been talking. Okay, so just in the last 7 days, for example, the volume has been 330 KSM. In the past 7 days, it's up 2,100%. And in the last 7 days, there's been, it says, a number of 238 sales. The next top contender that I see for number of sales is 73, and that's just items from the items collection. So very significant growth there, very significant stats as well. Just wanting to point these out once again. And if you go as far as last month, you'll see right now we're setting the second collection. With, once again, 530 KSM volume regarding the last month, with a number of sales at 243, with a floor price of, once again, guys, just 1 KSM. Top sale only being 50. Those were for the 100% custom Udl tickets. Once again, some of those are there. If any of you guys are interested, I highly recommend getting involved. Udl DAO is going to be sort of, if you will, the test driver of some of the functionality, the tech that we are building here at InvArch and Tinkernet. It's going to be the experimental playground for us, if you will, for experiencing, for example, our DAO community development kit that we're building. It's just very significant. Udl DAO is going to change a lot of things as far as how we view NFTs and like the primitives. Um, but I have a lot that I could go on saying about UDL. It's very exciting stuff, but I'd also like to give the opportunity to some of my colleagues here as well to speak on UDL, or even as well, we have Dustin here. He has also purchased the custom UDL ticket, and he has a custom UDL equipped for those of you who are not familiar, as well as give a shout out to Gagarin with InvArch here. He is the artist who has been creating all of these UDLs that you all see and love. So make sure you give a big shout out to him, because none of these would be here without him. He's been developing these at a alarmingly rapid pace, which is awesome as well, because he's a very, very busy man. So big shout out to Yaroslav on creating all of these UDLs. It's been great and very, very fun to see the community just kind of explode and explore with this project. But with that being said, anybody, Electrovinic, AJ, Dustin, any of you guys, would any of you all like to share your thoughts, hype, just things you're looking forward to from UDL, what the community can expect?
I'd, I'd like to share one thing because I remember Janisa asked if you have like multiple UDLs, will the voting power like summarize? And yes, so if you have like 2, 3, 4 UDLs, you will have a higher vote because you have like multiple of them. I just remember the question for her, like from her, like from Monday. So I have the answer now.
That is a good question. That is a great question, Julissa. Thank you for having that as well. Yeah, so you just heard as well, if you own multiple UDLs, then that kind of increases your power or voting power in the DAO. So if you're one of those individuals who want to get up some multiple UDLs, that's an opportunity that you have to take. AJ, I'll call on you as well. What's the number one thing that you're looking forward to seeing like InvArch functionality be tested with UDL DAO? I know you can probably go on too about like the NFT primitives and like the anti-plagiarism feature of it, but I wanted to hear your thoughts as well. Like what is the most exciting thing that you're looking forward to about seeing UDL DAO?
Yeah. Well, I believe, yes, it was Alice and Bob who really put it in this sense. But it's basically like an introduction, um, or rather, I forget the word that he used. I'm like blanking right now, but like, yeah, it's like almost a perfect like introduction um, to InvArch technology and to experience what's in store for the future, especially specifically when it comes to protecting your intellectual property.
Yeah.
You know, the 4 protocol, the XEA protocol. Shout outs to Sage, Tricky NFTs, and a few others that have garnered interest and have shown their support through different conversations, like publicly even. They like they even them people that are really heavy into the NFT space, specifically Sama with Remark Singular. Um, you know, it's really coming along, and more people are starting to realize the significance and also like the need for it, need for what us as a team, the project InvArch is bringing to the table, um, and what we're doing to truly like not just change things for the better for tomorrow, but for the future. Um, and it's not just even the tech side of things, but the sense of community, actually establishing and maintaining what a DAO is supposed to be, a true decentralized autonomous organization like that. That is something I am personally excited about. Because yeah, like I mean, like there are great DAOs out there, but I mean, they're not completely community driven. They're not 110%, you know, spearheaded by its own community. Like there is some element of centralization, if you will. But I
Or
truly
centralized
believe that,
authority as well. Yeah, I get what you're saying 100%.
yeah, and but yeah, like I truly believe that Udl DAO will really showcase what a true DAO is supposed to be, and the support is just so far, it's just amazing to see. So
Yeah, it has been. It's been really overwhelmingly positive. And that's been something that we've really loved to see as well. What you were saying too is like um, the technology that we are building here. I get a little philosophical and I go off on rants about this sometimes, but it's hard not to when you're talking about just all the different possibilities that this technology is going to allow to come to fruition, right? And just the fact that we've only been building for just a little over a year at this point, like it's actually insane to say that we went from a year ago just talking about this, not knowing what it was going to look like, not knowing that it was reality. OSIF wasn't realized, XCA wasn't realized. It was only INV4, and we just had a vision of like, let's build this innovation hub that's going to allow decentralized startups essentially to just flourish like we've never seen before, and protect IP in the process for an astronomically more affordable, barrier to entry, if you will, without making them sacrifice ownership. So that was always like really, really satisfying, because that's been the focus from the get go. And to see how things have changed, and things to see now that we have like Udl DAO, and we're going to be testing the functionality of these like core protocols that make InvArch and Tinkernet, and seeing these things in action, it's beyond exciting to look forward to. And I'm really, honestly, I think the coolest part is that as the team, us, ourselves, myself, Mikhail, AJ, who's here with us right now, Jake, we get to see Yaroslav as well. Like, we get to see this functionality happen at the same time as the community, and they get to experience it in tandem with us. It's not like we're backdoor and we're like, oh, look at how cool this is, like we can't wait to roll this out. We get to see these things with the community. We get to grow together. It's a growth of the community together, an experience, and I wouldn't want that to change, because I think we've done a fantastic job fostering trust in our community, just being transparent about things, owning mistakes and changing them, fixing them as fast as we can. And I think that's the trend that we should 100% stick to. It's the trend that all communities like to see, and I love seeing that our community 100% across the board has been satisfied. If they came to us with an issue, we've done our best to either get it resolved as fast as possible or get them an answer. And so just seeing all the positive outpour of support for not only Udl DAO, but just the project and its development thus far has been overwhelmingly amazing. I'm looking forward to, once again. Go ahead, Electrovic.
Yeah, I just want to tell, like, what's different, like how InvArch difference from other projects. So we're just not building some tech, So we build it, okay, use it, and everybody like, okay, we are building products based on it. So we are interested to develop it in the way that community can use it, and we are giving ourselves example what we can do with this, and we are evolving. The protocol is evolving, the project evolving, and we're giving you like the end user product for you, for regular members, for every community member, and just every developer to understand how it's built, and to understand all the power of what we're building. So that's why Udl DAO is so significant, because it showcases the, not just like that we just thought about NFT collection. No, it showcases what we're building, and we are trying to do same for with the InvArch 4 did. Yes, we are trying to use our tech ourselves and to use it in the best way, and to showcase everybody that we are not just building to have some tokens, to have some hype, to like flip everything. No, we are interested in long term, and we are interested here to stay and to bring a lot of cool features to the Web3.
Yes, beautifully put, Mikhail. Thank you so much. Like he said, I couldn't have said it that better myself. We are building this tech because it was tools that we ourselves wish we had. And if you guys didn't catch the Web3 talk, which I'm going to drop the link to the recording of that here in just a little bit, so you guys can catch up if you hadn't. But like you might recall, I believe is Ingo from Kilt. I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but he was talking about, there are so many solutions inside of Web3, inside of our ecosystem alone, but obviously the main scope is Web3. And there's so many different things that have not been focused on or specialized or honed in on by a team or a parachain, for example, yet. And if you really want to get down to it, you have to have people like I know our community is obviously passionate. They're here. There's 35 of us right now listening. So, for example, these could all be you individuals, because obviously you have passion about this. You're sitting here listening to us talk about it, right? So there are so many different things. There's so many different niches that have not been honed in on, not been perfected, not been focused on for the benefit of Web3 and the entire community that accesses these tools, that if you guys have that passion, if you guys find that one little thing that you're like, I can either perfect this, or you see a crack in the system that needs to be filled, you have that opportunity to actually go and build it. Nobody's going to stop you. In fact, most of the time, people are going to be very encouraging of it and even come alongside you and say, how can I help? That was kind of the case with InvArch. For those of you who might not know our backstory 100% of the way, Dakota, our head founder, was flabbergasted, kind of overwhelmed, if you will. He had this idea that was InvArch and did not know how to get it off the ground. He realized he knew blockchain technology and Polkadot ecosystem was the way to go, but how to get started. And he just started talking to people, started reaching out to individuals in the ecosystem who might have a connection here, might have a connection there, might know somebody at a parity team, or, whatever the case may be. And eventually, here we are a year later, and we're building. We've got Tinkernet onboarded to Kusama, and OSIF will go live, and basically, August 8th. So we got onboarded August 8th. So 2 months after that is expected for OSIF to be live on Tinkernet. It's crazy to see when you have a community that supports you and supports your vision, just how fast and far our project can come in a short amount of time. And if you think that only InvArch can do that, I think you're wrong. I think a lot of projects will have this type of community support. And the biggest part is what Mikhail was saying too, is that user experience. We truly believe that is, if not the most important thing, it is second to most important thing. You have to make the user's experience when using these tools and using this tech as smooth and flawless as possible and as simple as possible. They don't want to have to go through 7 different UIs and sign multiple transactions just to swap some assets here and there. Or, it's just sometimes, as we all are all familiar with, some of the things that we have to go through to do simple things that we all do on a daily basis is a pain in the butt. And these individuals just simply would rather not do it than to actually use these tools for the benefits that we've created them for. So simplifying these processes, and for example, like GitArch is the main, GitArch will be like the main example of this, allowing developers to code in Web3 in a user face they're already 100% familiar with. I think that was one of the most brilliant things that our GigaChad brain developers here at InvArch decided to go and do, because, even if you come from our marketing and ecosystem development standpoint, sometimes people, as this is an old American saying, if something is broken, if something isn't broken, then why do we need to fix it? So if somebody is already they like what they're using, they like the tool that they have, and they don't want to change it, they don't want to have to go and learn how to use a new tool, use a new system, especially if it's actually kind of laboring to learn this, they're not going to want to do that, especially when what they've been using to them is just as good. So when you provide a solution that is better, but the experience is the exact same, it's hard to say no. So that's kind of the benefit, if you will, from some of the, what Mikhail said, the things that we're focusing on building. It's not just because we wanted to build it for our community. It's we wanted it for ourselves. We've seen this crack in the system that needed to be filled. For example, you'll often, if you've listened to me talk here or you've gone back and listened to any of my recordings, it's pretty often that I say patenting, copyright, all that stuff hasn't been revisited since the 70s, 80s. So we felt like that was a huge crack in the system, and Web3 and blockchain was the solution to filling the crack. So with that being said, guys. Does AJ, Dustin, or Mike, if any of you guys want anything else to say on this, feel free to. Dustin, if you have any comments for Udl DAO, since you are a custom DAO Udl ticket holder, I will absolutely let you share your thoughts as well on it, man.
If, AJ pretty much took all the words from my mouth, pretty much. but
My
but
bad,
basically,
my bad.
no, I love the sentiment. I have the same outlook too. Is it's really good to see the community's involvement, especially being that there's going to be quite a bit of holders for the Udl DAO. It's going to be nice to see a lot of these, Kusama and maybe even non-familiar faces that we haven't seen. They're kind of like lurking in the background, but wanting to participate in some way in our ecosystem. So it's really cool to be able to give them a chance to have their voice in our community, and especially with Udl DAO as well. And then also to add with there's something else AJ mentioned. It's just like literally, I was just like, wow, okay, he pretty much said everything. What was it? I think that was it. I mean, there was something else. I know there was something else to it, but yeah, really enjoy. Okay. Also, like the use case of the protocols, being able to implement them into the first project, and Udl DAO is able to utilize that in a way that InvArch realizes it. So, or TinkerNet, just kind of the gambit of the ecosystem. So,
Absolutely.
I do really like that. Especially for me, I'm I guess a degen in some sense when it comes to projects' first NFT project. So of course, that was my go-to was Udl DAO. It just made a lot of sense to me is getting involved the first NFT project that's connected with InvArch. So it would be a no-brainer for me to not be a part of Udl DAO. But yeah, just for anyone that's listening, is there's a lot more involved here in Udl DAO. Just scratching the surface with the IP, just in all the protocols, IMV4 or OSIF, and be able to implement them into Udl DAO, and like actually seeing the use case like tangible. It is just a merge of brainstorming and then actually like coming to real life. Just hearing Dakota talk about everything and just seeing it in fruition. It's amazing to see where we're at now. So I
Absolutely.
appreciate everybody here, everyone Udl DAO. Yeah.
Trust me, I agree 100%. It's so refreshing to see like not only the community support for it, but just everyone's support, and even like hearing our founder, us here at InvArch, obviously, like we get more kind of like FaceTime or speaking time, as you will, with the founder than obviously most of the members in our community. But with that being said, like it's just so cool to not only get to experience the community sentiment, but to experience the founders' like excitement for just the governance and being able to have this truly like as decentralized as possible autonomous organization, and to be able to showcase all this different functionality, all this different tech. It's just really refreshing. It's not very often that you hear people who are often like the founders behind things be like, I want to give governance. I want people to have power. I want to be empowering. I don't want to strip that from individuals. So, I mean, just being from, like, for example, I was in the military, so I was kind of like always taking orders, if you will. And so to see individuals in leadership who want to empower their communities rather than just bark orders and say, I said do this, so that's what you're going to do. Duh. Seeing stuff like that is so refreshing that's what entices me the most. But I do love that, there are just a growing amount of individuals who see the functionality, they see what we're doing, and they support it. As Wood Frank just typed out, there are now 10,000 followers on our Twitter on InvArch. That's amazing. We've came a long way in just a year. And the other thing that I'd like to point out too is we've been focused only 110% on organic growth. For those of you who don't know, this might come as a shock to you, but I don't think we've paid for like any marketing ads or things like that. if you've seen something about us, it's more than likely because it was an individual himself who's passionate about the project sharing something about it. And if you came to us because of that individual, please thank that individual because they were doing a great job. We love to see the amount of community support that we get from all the individuals across Sama and even different DAOs. Like we have a lot of individuals from Chaos DAO who support what we're doing here. We have a lot of individuals on our team, even, for example, we were a part of Chaos DAO. So it's just cool seeing all the different aspects and communities inside of Sama come together in support of this. As most things, honestly, they do. However, now and then, like you'll see sometimes, so to say, we hard fork on something. Some of our community will be like, yes. Some of us will be like, no. And we'll have to come down to, an agreement, if you will. But with that being said, guys, the only other thing that I kind of wanted to go over was yesterday we did have the Web3 talks, and the day prior to that we had our own community AMA. So there was some unanswered questions at the end of the community AMA, and some of our team members went through and actually took the time to answer, I believe, most of the questions here. So if there was a question here that received a team answer, I will go through and read it. I apologize, guys. We tried to answer as many of these as we could. However, we're not always able to answer everyone's questions, and we did receive a lot of amazing questions for the community AMA. So I was very thankful to see that. It was very awesome seeing all the engagement. Excuse me. So so the first question was, I have a simple question. When is the Tinker pre-sale and when listings on centralized exchanges, not decentralized exchanges? And are you guys planning to make pre-sale for Varch as well? Thank you. So the Think Big event will be held after we have the Tinker listed and bootstrapped. There's more information to come on that. Why InvArch, or how was the name of the project thought up? So this has actually been answered before, but I very much have a good memory about this story. To give you the response that was given in the Discord, so InvArch actually stands for Invention, Involvement, and Investment Arch. So when InvArch is a bridge connecting these three ingredients, for successful innovation. That's where the name originally comes from. That's what it stands for. And basically, our founder, if you ask him when he came up for this idea, what InvArch was originally named or referred to by him was Dakota, ironically, which is obviously his name. So he would talk about this project kind of like in a third person, if you will. He would say like Dakota, where you would say InvArch now. And I asked him one time, I was like, so whatever happened? Like, why did you change the name from like your name to InvArch? And he said he was literally like laying down one night. I think he said he was asleep and he had a dream about it. Like he had a dream about InvArch and changing the name to that. And he said he woke up out of the dream, remembered it, and was like, oh my God, that's amazing. And wrote it down and then just passed right back out. So for those of you who want to know the answer to that, that is how the name came up. We thought later on when we came up with Tinkernet and the logo for Tinkernet, we were like, man, that's so cool. But InvArch is still as well. Like we're 100%. We love the names that we came up with. I didn't come up with them at all. I can't claim that. But the name that the founders decided upon was really cool. I think I like the names as well. I do feel like I will say a lot of parachains come up with really freaking cool, iconic names. Like I just like it a lot. Like Moonbeam. Like that's freaking awesome. Going into the next question, what are your project use cases? How can investors and influencers be attracted to your project? So this was answered again by Mikhail. The potential is limitless, and developers can use the network and its functionality in any way that they want to. Thanks to our three main protocols, you can build almost anything you can imagine. The primary use case is, of course, managing and protecting your intellectual property, social collaboration, decentralized governance, and participation over the development of your idea. But this is only the tip of the iceberg. Some apps that can be built on the network are, like, for example, third-party product marketplace and copyright licensing hubs, decentralized music studios and record labels, decentralized crowdfunding platforms, open source and transparent donation/philanthropy portal, a decentralized learning portal, books, courses, and higher education, and also many more. I would like to say decentralized learning portal. that is something that I would personally love to see somebody in the community build. I think something like that would be awesome. And I also think that the functionality that DAOs are going to actually be bootstrapped with across multiple countries, because obviously countries have like cultural differences and things like that. I think it would be phenomenal to see countries be able to like form DAOs essentially. Like you take, well, I'll just use the United States as an example because I'm from there. It's the easiest one for me to like think of. So like there's 50 states. So we'll say we take 50 parents randomly selected across each state, and we all put all of those individuals together in a DAO. And then those individuals are tasked with basically coming up with and agreeing upon curriculum to teach the youth of that nation, for example, rather than a governing body of politicians who have never spent a day in their life in an education field dictating what the youth of every nation should, be learning. Because, for example, in the United States, I'm not sure, I can't say for how it is for other countries. The United States ranks very low in national education standards. And I will say as well, like coming from the public school system myself, I do feel like it is a failure. It does not bootstrap individuals for success. It trains them how to be workers, good soldiers, and that's pretty much it. It teaches you discipline and how to be able to follow instructions, but it doesn't teach you how to handle money. It doesn't teach you how to be an entrepreneur. It doesn't teach you how to think for yourself or question, facts or authority or whatever the case may be. So I think it's interesting to see how this technology could genuinely change the future. That's just one of the visions that I have personally. But I will go on to the next question. Yeah, what's up?
Imagine if you combine the educational portal with the community SDK, like things like UDAO.
Yes,
you can make
yes.
a decentralized university with access from the students, with teachers minting their learning materials and everything like this. So this is like a new approach to the education, completely new one.
I think it makes the most sense. Because, for example, I will cite it again in the United States, for example, you have individuals in control of higher seats of education and power in our government that have say over, like, for example, actual universities and things of that nature, and they have absolutely zero idea what they're doing. Like, quite frankly, I don't think they have any experience in what they're doing. They were just, like, thrown into that position, like, do your job. And as an American, I will say, like, I think our school systems are rather failing our youth. I think there's a lot that could be improved, a lot could be changed, and I think it would benefit us as a whole very greatly. But anyways, once again, that was a great answer, Mikhail, so thank you for providing that as well. So this person's question was, which token will be most used, staked, and what are staking requirements? So both Varch and Tinker will have the same functions: governance, network fees, staking, rewards. It's hard to say which token will be most used. This is in Mikhail's opinion. Likely Tinkernet as a playground and first-to-market network will have more freedom and opportunities for the community to showcase any of their ideas. After they prove their support and development, they can then be transferred to InvArch as a best-to-market solution, and this is how I see it. But time will tell, of course. Both networks are rapidly evolving, and there will be more features and functionality. As for requirements, we will update the community as soon as we will have this information. So this says, hi, I've been following InvArch for a bit, honestly, and I'm still a bit confused. For a smooth-brained fellow like me who hodls, crowd loans, and likes to understand complex tech, can you explain to me what InvArch is and how I can use it, how a user can and will use it? I can use GM or Die to send my friends GM. How can I use InvArch? I really need to understand this fully. And it says, sorry, excuse me. InvArch is the IP meta protocol and digital rights management network of Web3, a leading-edge L1 blockchain that redefines the future of open-source composability and human innovation. I think the best way for you to understand what we are building and how significant this is for the future of IP protection and development is to read our Edge series articles. They are brilliantly written and will give you a full picture of how the world will change because of our innovations. I will drop you the links to them. He dropped links to 4 of them. For those of you who haven't read our Edge series articles but are interested in doing so, I highly recommend it. They were written directly by our founder, who is, the thinker of the protocols. So if you guys want a very better explanation, a more in-depth dive to what we are talking about, please go to the InvArch Medium page, read through our Edges series. You will not regret it, I promise. But GM or Die is a project made by Gabriel, who is the co-founder as well of InvArch. So I think everything is possible in the future. So let me see here if there's any other questions. Okay, that looks like all the questions that were answered. So with that being said, guys, once again, it was really awesome. If you guys missed our community AMA, you can go on our Twitter. The Twitter space is available, and you can find it there. As well as we have the Web3 talk. I had it somewhere. I must have lost it. I'll have to find it really quick. But we had the Web3 talks recently. Just yesterday. If you guys missed that, you guys have got to go back and watch that. There was a lot of good information shared. Lots of awesome things just talked about as well. If you guys missed, here we go. I got the link to the YouTube video right here. If you guys missed it, once again, highly recommend you guys go back and watch it. We had people from Kilt, Parody, InvArch, and Oak Network there. Really, really great conversation. Really, really and talented, smart individuals just talking about the future of interoperability. So there's the link to the video, guys. Like I said, the theme of the conversation was unlocking true cross-chain interoperability. Once again, it was very good conversation. So if you guys missed it, once again, please go back and watch that because you will appreciate it. So with that being said, guys, we're almost coming up on an hour. This has actually ran a little bit, sometimes longer than what we usually do. It's been an absolute pleasure spending this morning with you guys. I love spending my Friday mornings with our community and our community calls. I'm in a little bit of my makeshift office right now, but that's okay. No coffee for me this morning, but I'm doing all right. So with that being said, guys, does anybody else have any questions for the community or just anything that we discussed? Speak now or forever hold your peace. I will end this recording. If you guys know somebody who wanted to be here but couldn't be, this will be uploaded shortly, hopefully. And I will tag everyone, let them know when the uploading is available so you guys can share it with your friends. Yeah, does anybody have any questions at all for me before we end this InvArch Friday community call?
Hello. Hello.
Hello, I can barely hear you, Fortune. If you have a question, I don't know if it's something with your mic, but it may be best for you to type it if I'm having a issue hearing you.
I would like to ask.
Yeah, I apologize. I'm not sure what you're saying. Your audio is really distorted when it's coming through. If you have a question, either DM me or drop it right here in the Community Lounge chat channel. If you hover over the voice channel that we're in right now, if you're not familiar, there's a little bubble that'll say open chat. You can drop your message in that.
I said I would like to think I stayed in with.
Okay. With that being said, guys, does anybody else have any other questions? I apologize once again, Fortune. I can't understand what you're saying.
I was going to throw in something. I don't know if we can announce it about these EMAs. Is that too soon?
That. Well, I think we'll share an official announcement, but we will say you guys can expect a pretty freaking sweet AMA in the very near future with some pretty freaking sweet individuals that you guys know and love. We'll leave it at that. But all right, guys. If that's everything, if everybody has their questions answered, thank you all so much once again for joining our community call. I hope you guys will join me again next Friday. We do these every Friday, same time, same place. So with that being said, y'all, much love. I hope you all enjoy your weekend. I hope you guys have a wonderful time. And I will see you next week with more awesome updates and more exciting news. Have a wonderful time, everyone. Later.
Take care, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend.